Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Shai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Howell, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Chak the belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman. This week's topic is going to be entitled The Slain of the Lord. It's going to be many. Alright, when Yahweh Bashim Yahushai comes back, most of the people in the world are not going to make it. Very similar to the flood during the time of Noah, where he left about 8 souls. Okay, now at the time of Noah, there wasn't 8 billion or 9 billion people on the planet. All right, there's far more people, there's far more spirits on the planet Earth right now than the times of Noah. Okay, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has done that. As the Apostle Elder Aramla brought out many years ago. Okay, that's because there's going to be a severe judgment that's going to come upon this place. Okay. And a lot of people in the world don't understand that. They think that the Lord is coming back to bring daisies and roses and a banjo. And first of all, they have a false image of the Lord in their mind. They have somebody with so-called white skin or red skin, okay, and long hair. No, the Lord is a so-called black man. He's coming back to cause wreck. Matthew 10:34 tells us, all right, that think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Okay? A sword is just an instrument of destruction. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua speaks about, what would I be? Yahweh says, what would I be? I come back and the fire is not already kindled. Something to that effect. All right? In other words, he's going to come back in the midst of the fire, in the midst of World War III. All right? Which we're on the brink of, okay, with all these different nations. In World War III, it means they're going to be launching nuclear missiles. All right, this is the next world war is not going to be fought like the other world wars, World War I, World War II, with tankers and dogfighters and planes. For the most part, all right. For the most part, what's going to be determined the fact that this war are the ICBM missiles. All right, hypersonic, supersonic, intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right. And the Most High is behind that. Scriptures tell you in the book of Isaiah 66:15, I created a smith that bloweth the coal in the fire. So those blessed missiles, the reset button, all right, are ordained of the Heavenly Father. And they're going to do what they're meant to do. The Most High wouldn't open up the knowledge to the so-called white man house to cause this much destruction, if not to use these missiles, man. All right. Isn't it not written in the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, in the 4th verse, that many shall run to and fro and knowledge shall increase? Why has knowledge increased so much? Why has technology increased so much? To further prophecy. That's it. That's the main reason. All right. The chip is a very technologically advanced thing, and these nuclear missiles are very much a technologically advanced thing. All right. The book of Isaiah 66:15 reads, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire." See that? Fire, heat. Fire is a purifying agent. Okay, the first, you have 2 deaths that's mentioned in the scriptures. The first death, or the first baptism meaning to cleanse, was done with fire during the flood. The second baptism, all right, is going to be that nuclear fire. That's going to melt even the elements. That's what it says in the book of 1 Peter, the third chapter, the 9th verse on down, all right, that even the elements themselves are going to melt with fervent heat. Okay, that's a whole different kind of purification, man, but it's much needed. The world is so defiled, man. It's so defiled. Like the oceans, just everywhere the so-called white man has touched and populated, shit is defiled, bro. When you get a chance, after this video, or even you could pause this video or whatever, because I know most of us, we just kind of listen to these videos while we doing our tasks, driving, working, or whatever. Just Google the garbage on Mount Everest. Just Google that. And, because they always show that these devils be climbing these mountains and shit. Look how much filth and dirt and all the stuff they leave behind, man. It says Isaiah 66:15, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire." Right, so his rebuke with flames of fire. So The only way to escape out this coming nuclear destruction is to be on the chariots. Okay, because not only will this place get hit with nuclear missile, but it's also gonna get hit with concentrated fire, all right, or laser beams, all right, from the chariots, what the world ignorantly call UFOs. So there's a whole bunch of fire that's gonna be going on, and if you're not delivered up, if the Most High says come up and you ain't get caught up, it's a wrap, you know. So, I mean, I hear things like that with faith. The first thing that'll come to my mind is like, damn, what do I got to do to get on them chariots? You see? What you got to do is be diligent to make it called an election sure. You know? That's what you got to do to be on the chariots. You know? The Apostle Peter asked the Lord, you know, what are we going to get for this? We gave up everything. We gave up families. We gave up careers. We gave up all this. You know, what are we going to get in return? The Lord said, you're going to sit on a throne with me, judging the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And so we want to be a part of the ruling body of it to come. So we're very much ambitious. People be like, oh, you Israelites, you're not ambitious in it. Man, this is the most ambitious thing. And also, just save your ass, man. Don't get caught up in them missiles and the hell that's going to come to this place. You want to be protected. You want that hedge. Psalms 34:7. You want them angels to camp around you and your family. So that's why we do this work, and that's why we put it first. Verse 16, it says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. And you have to ask yourself, why don't these scriptures get brought out in the churches? You know, how come we reading the same book, but I never hear my pastor going into the death and destruction that the Lord is going to bring or has brought in the past? I'll tell you why, all right? If you teach this Bible unadulterated, you're going to lose a lot of followers, man, okay? Because this Bible is highly offensive. There's certain things you can't do. That's why it says in the book of Hebrews, it's a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? You read scriptures, you know, and if you still in that worldly spirit, it'll be cutting you. All right? You think the pastor could tell, first of all, how these women should really carry themselves? All right? Going into not eating pork, shrimp, and lobster, the congregation don't want to hear that. All right? So he'd rather tell them smooth things. Right? They'll sprinkle some truth in there, like the Elder Manasseh Zakba. He be going into that bald-headed preacher, that he be dropping some truth in there. He be saying some shit I ain't even know, man. All right? He's talking about the Nazarite, how they can't eat anything from the vine. We knew about grapes, but I didn't know about the cucumbers and what else from the vine. You know, but I'm like, damn, okay. But then he'll mix some lies in there. You know, so. But in terms of the pure, unadulterated truth of this Bible, you're only going to find that with the prophets, man. They had great millstone, the apostles, the elders, and brothers on down. It says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Right? So a lot of people are going to die, man. All right? The Most High, and Yahushua is the real Grim Reaper. All right? He talks about putting you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. The harvest represents the end of the world, all right? And what does somebody do with the sickle? Cut shit up, man. So, when Yahushua returns, he's not going to come back on a donkey in a lowly state. The scriptures tell us in the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter, the 3rd verse, says he's not going to meet you like a man, okay? He's going to come in his glory, all right? He's going to come to cause wreck. Isaiah 24, 25, and 33. Isaiah 25 and 33 says, and the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be as dung upon the ground. And there's going to be a lot of dead bodies, man. Okay? Scriptures speak about in the book of Ezekiel, several men for continual employment, all right? Meaning, you know, the nations, the 17 nations outside of Israel, all right, they're going to be occupied with burying these dead bodies, you see? Yeah, man, they're gonna be occupied with burying these dead bodies. And you're gonna see dead bodies are gonna be so common. It's gonna be like roadkill on the street. You know, the first time you see your first dead animal or dead carcass on the street, you're kind of like, whoa. But then you see enough dead carcasses, you become numb to it. All right, so it's gonna be shocking and on at initially, but after a while, it's gonna be like, you know, this is just what we gotta do. We gotta clean the shit up off the road. That's how dead body's gonna be. 2nd Ezra 8:1, and he answered. Second Ezra chapter 8 verse 1 says, Salakia, bear with me. Let's see something. Can I get over here? Oh goodness. It's traffic out the wazoo. It reads, it says, and he answered me, and said, saying, the Most High made this world for many, but the world to come for few. Right, so the world to come is for few. This present world is for many, you know. But what Yahweh Shem shall have in store for his hopeful elect, that's few and far between. All right. Whoa, dude. That's few and far between. So we're trying to be a part of that few. Okay? Most of the people in this world, they're not going to believe this thing, man. Most of the people in this world are in the world, you know? They got their dreams, their aspirations, all these different things. Not considering, or not even looking around them, the things that are happening. They caught off in Wonderland. You know, but we see Revelations, the 3rd chapter, the 18th verse, we have that eye salve. Okay? To see what's going on in the prophecies that are to come. So it says, verse 2, it says, I will tell thee a similitude, Ezra. It says, as when thou askest the earth, it says, I will tell thee a similitude, Ezra, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee. Wow. Alright, so my Apocrypha app is really fucking up. Fucked up last lesson, it's fucking up this lesson. It's cutting off the verses. But roughly paraphrasing, the point is in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter, in the third verse, it says, there be many created, but few shall be saved. You know, and that's really the point of the lesson, that the Most High is going to slay a majority of the people in the earth. Okay, but only salvage a few. All right, his remnant, his elect, his hopeful elect his elect, and we will hope we're part of that elect. Okay, that shall be delivered. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Achak Udash, double honors to the apostles, all right, and the elders of Great Millstone, true well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom, brother, shalom.